Erev Shabbos, everybody. Anybody who reads the story of the Meraglim, the story of the spies, is perplexed. How could it be that these 10 people, these 10 important leaders of the Jewish people, could make such a tragic mistake? I want to share with you an idea I heard from a Yisrael Reisman, Rosh Hashiva, and Yeshiva's Torah Vodas. And it begins with a contradiction within the commentary of Rashi. In this week's Parsha, the 12 individuals chosen to be the emissaries of the Jewish people, sent into the land to prepare for its conquest, are referred to as follows: Kulam Anashim Rashi Bnei Yisrael Hema. They were all men, the heads of the Jewish people. And Rashi in Devarim writes in the language of Kulam Anashim. Of course they were Anashim. Who else would they be? What it means to tell us is that they were Chashuvim, all Ksherim, says Rashi. They were important, well-respected, pious individuals. However, in this week's parsha, when the Torah tells us Vayelchu Vayavo, they went and they came back, Rashi writes Ma bi'asan be'itzara av halichasan be'itzara. There's a connection to how they went into Eretz Yisrael and how they came back. Just as when they came back, they were conniving, scheming to slander the land, so too even on their way in at the very beginning, they planned to sway the people to reject the land. The question, of course, is which one is it? Were they upright, important, pious people, or were they conniving, devious traitors? And to answer the question, the Maharal of Prague introduces a fundamental concept in halacha, which applies to our lives as spiritually minded Jews as well. The Meraglim indeed were ksherim. They were pious, good, well-respected people. They had the right intentions. However, in this scenario, they weren't working only for themselves. They were shlichim. They were messengers. And they viewed themselves as the messengers, the shlichim of Bnei Yisrael. While the Meraglim had faith in Hashem, the people had concerns. They did not have complete faith, and that all would go well in the process of conquering the land, and their intentions for sending the spies were not all that pure. And says the Maharal, we know the Gemara tells us in many places the concept that shlucho shel adam kamoso, a messenger of an individual, takes on the status of the sender themselves. This, of course, is typically used in the halachic sense. It gives the power to the Shlach, to the messenger, to make financial transactions and other transactions on behalf of the person who sent him. However, says the Maharal, this concept doesn't only refer to a halachic connection between sender and messenger, but also a spiritual one. When I ask you to be my messenger, when the shliach takes on the intentions and the mindset, they have an impact on the shliach. And with this, we can explain the answer to our contradiction. How could it be that the Meraglim were both pious and ill-intentioned at the same time as they began their journey? Because they had the right intentions, but they were working for a group that did not. And those negative feelings seeped into their mindset too. However, this power of influence can work, of course, in both directions. In Parshas Chukas, when retelling the story of Bnei Yisrael leaving Egypt, the Torah tells us, "Vanitzak el Hashem," and we cried out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, "Vayishma koleinu," and He heard our voice, "Vayishlach malach, vayotzeinu miMitzrayim." He sent an angel and took us out of Egypt. Who's the angel? Who's the malach? Says Rashi, we knew who the angel was. It was a Moshe Rabbeinu. But in what way is Moshe Rabbeinu a human being called an angel? Says the Chassam Sofer, because Moshe Rabbeinu was working for the Ribbono Shel Olam, and he knew that he was. He was the Shliach of Hashem. When you're working for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it has an impact on you, and you become like a malach yourself. And this, says the Chidush Arim, the first Ger Rebbe, reveals what the real mistake of the Meraglim was all about. After all, according to all we've said, the people were the ones with the bad intentions, not the Meraglim. Yet we refer to it as Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies. Why? The answer is that the Meraglim didn't realize that they held the power to control the entire situation. They viewed themselves as the messengers of the people. The people had little faith and weren't interested in God's plan. But if the Meraglim would have viewed themselves as they really were, the messengers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, realizing that He had sent them on a mission, their entire mindset would have changed. And maybe they would have been able to influence the people for the good. The Chidush Arim's grandson, the Sfas Emes, writes that so often we go through our daily lives and we do that which works for us, the pieces of Avodas Hashem that make sense to us, and we find ourselves schlepping along uninspired. However, he writes, if we would realize who we are, that we're the shlichim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we're quite literally the messengers of God in this world, it would transform our approach to life. Ben Azai is quoted in Pirkei Avos in the fourth parak, and he says, Al tihi baz l'chol adam. Rashi explains it to mean never treat any person like they don't matter. Why? Says the Mishnah, she'ein lacha adam she'ein lo sha'ah. There's no person who doesn't have his or her time. We could paraphrase Ben Azai to be telling us that if you were placed in this world at this particular time, then it must be that Kadosh Baruch Hu needs you for something. There's some mission that he sent you here to accomplish right now. And we need to internalize this message now more than ever before. We continue to learn the story of the Meraglim so many thousands of years later because we all need this reminder constantly, to know who sent us and to realize we have a specific mission to accomplish. To remind ourselves, she'ein lacha adam she'ein lo shah, that I have a mission that is unique to me and only to me. A mission that Kadosh Baruch Hu has sent me for. Maybe you'll have the strength and the wisdom to fulfill that mission.